Hey, Emmanuel family, I hope you are well today, and I've got some big news for you. No longer is Emmanuel Church a part of the Conservative Baptist Association. Now, I want to tell you more about that at the end of this video, but right now I want to read for you two verses that I think are deeply encouraging. Now, these verses come to us from 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. Listen to these words. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to those who are elect exiles of the dispersion in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, in the sanctification of the Spirit, for obedience to Jesus Christ and for the sprinkling with his blood, may grace and peace be multiplied to you. Now, in these two verses, you have these incredible theological bombs that just get dropped on you. Bombs of election and foreknowledge, sanctification, and the sprinkling of blood. And then identified and active in these verses are every person of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I mean, there's so much happening in these two verses. But these things, all these things, are being tied to the elect. It is within the elect that Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are at work and active. It is the elect that God foreknows. It is the elect that the Spirit is sanctifying. It is the elect that the blood of Christ is applied to. And now these things are being written about by Peter and given to the church because in a world that's increasingly hostile, these truths are meant to carry them through any trial, any difficulty, any suffering. I mean, if the whole world is lined up, stacked against the church, it's these truths, these theological realities that are meant to carry them through it all, that grace and peace might be multiplied to the church. I mean, it's beautiful, precious things. It's a desire of mine that I would not just have an intellectual understanding of grace and peace, but I would feel them, I would know them in my heart and my soul in the depth of who I am. I want to grow in my experience of grace and peace. I imagine that you do as well. And so I think that in part, studying 1 Peter will help us to understand these things and maybe taste grace and peace a little bit more. Certainly our knowledge will deepen, and hopefully with deeper knowledge comes greater experience. This Sunday, we begin a new sermon series on the book of 1 Peter, and we will begin by looking at these two verses on Sunday. It's a sermon series that I've entitled Hope in a Hostile World. It's my desire that this sermon series would help you to live in hope as we see society getting increasingly hostile towards the church. I mean, Peter wrote this book in a time where the whole world was getting more hostile towards the church, and a lot worse things were coming for them. And I think that we can learn a lot from this book of 1 Peter. I think we can know what it is to have a living hope, that grace and peace can indeed be multiplied to us. And I'm really excited to dive into it starting on Sunday. Also this Sunday, the CareNet baby bottles are due back. So bring them back filled with change, with bills, with checks, and every single penny that you put into one of these bottles will go directly to saving the lives of the unborn. So again, those are due back this Sunday. Make sure you bring every bottle back. And if you can, bring them back filled up. Also, this past Sunday, we began the annual process of nominating new elders to serve at Emmanuel. And we did that by handing out these nomination pamphlets. If you didn't get one, if you weren't here, then we will be sending one of these to you in the mail. If you want to nominate multiple men, then you're going to need multiple pamphlets because each pamphlet is only good for one man. So make sure you let the office know about that. Now, all of those pamphlets are due back March 22nd, at which point the nomination committee will begin to review them and pray over them, eventually approaching a few men. And then on May 2nd at the annual corporate meeting, you will have the opportunity to vote on who will become the new elders at Emmanuel. Now, I told you that Emmanuel is no longer a part of the Conservative Baptist Association. And that's because the Conservative Baptist Association is now called Venture Church Network. And this was done because the meaning of words have dramatically changed. Conservative no longer means what it used to mean. It comes with all kinds of political overtones and it's become more distracting than it is helpful. Same with the word Baptist. Baptist now conjures up images of people protesting military funerals and acting in totally unchristlike ways. And so Conservative Baptist Association wanted to drop those two words, and they've renamed themselves Venture Church Network, of which we are still a part. It appears that all other distinctives are staying the same. The statements of the faith are the same. All of the structural makeup is the same. All of the initiatives seem to be the same. It does appear to be a name change only. But we're going to be watching what sort of initiatives and changes come in the next few years. I've included in the description to this video a link to David Whitaker's announcement about this name change. David Whitaker being the president of the Venture Church Network. And if you want to know more about what he says and some of the desires they have for the network moving forward, you'll want to check out his announcement. Well, that's what I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and Lord willing, I hope I can see you on Sunday. And may grace and peace indeed be multiplied to you.